Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Comedy Show NFL Playoff Edition on bogradio.fm with my main man, former college football standout, Aaron Too Tall Moore. What's up, Too Tall?
Doing great, man. What's going on?
Everything is going great. We got exciting football coming up this weekend as we move into the second round of the playoffs, the divisional round. Your team, the Washington Commanders, were invited to the party. How you feeling?
We are feeling, as I say, like I'm playing, but we are feeling good.
Okay.
We playing with house money, man.
Yeah.
All the pressure's on Detroit. We don't got no pressure on us because we're not supposed to be there. But we're feeling good right now.
Well, you should be. And I think when you look at the game they played against the Buccaneers, who's also a good team, and oh, by the way, one of the only two teams this year that's gone into Detroit and won.
Mm-hmm.
And I just look at Jaden Daniels, his poise, his maturation as a rookie quarterback. He's becoming a veteran right in front of our very own eyes. Yeah, and then you look at what's surrounding him, the defense is holding up. You guys look good.
Yeah, he don't look like a rookie, but I think one of the reasons for that, he played all 5 years in college, and I think he got an extra year because of COVID.
Okay.
So he's played a lot of football. And yeah, so coming out, I think he was already ready because he's played a lot of football.
Well, and it shows. It just shows. I mean, I think I remember a mention at the beginning of the year, or maybe even during the draft, that he probably has more snaps as an incoming rookie than the other guys in his class.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a ton of snaps in college.
Yeah.
And I guess the only other guy that comes close probably that came out was maybe Penix or Bo Nix. I mean, all three of them had a lot of snaps, but I think Jay had more than anybody. Then you come into a system where Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, they got him ready to play.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, they had the guy that gave him those, what do you call those goggles that the virtual goggles?
Yeah. He's been using them since college.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, he actually brought that to Washington.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
He was using it at LSU.
So you just look at all the things that he's been using to be a better ball player, and it is showing. I mean, the Commanders are nothing to be played with. We're going to talk more about the Commanders a little bit later on in the show and their matchup against Detroit this weekend. But the playoff results, we had Buffalo over Denver 31-7. Let me ask you this. Did the Broncos even belong in the playoffs?
I think they belong because they made it, but I knew this was going to be a blowout. They don't belong in the tier of the Buffalo Bills yet, especially playing in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I figured this was going to be a blowout. Bo Nix, he showed. I mean, the first drive was wonderful.
Yeah,
he went down and scored on the first drive, bomb, long play. But after that, Buffalo tightened their shoelaces and got to Bo Nix, and they really couldn't do nothing after that. And the defense definitely couldn't do anything. So I think they belonged, but I think it was just Buffalo was just a better team.
By far. I mean, if you look at the wins this year that Denver's had, they were all against losing teams. I think they got close against the Chiefs, and they didn't get it done. And I think when you look at their wins, I mean, they had a good year. I don't want to take anything away from Sean Payton and Bo Nix and the Denver Bronco defense. They've had a good year. But when you look at their wins, they've been mostly against teams that were middling or less. And whenever they played a real titan of a team, they didn't look very good. I think they were blown out by the Ravens, or someone blew them out earlier in the year, a really good team. And Buffalo gets the win 31-7 over Denver. Now, Houston, in the surprise of the weekend, beating the LA Chargers 32-12. I don't think anyone saw that coming.
No, I did not see that coming, and that defense for Houston showed something. They was all over Herbert the whole game. That defense is really the reason why they took charge of that game, and the reason really why they put the offense in good field position. Because it was close throughout the first half, and it
Yeah.
was going back and forth. But that second half, that defense stood up, and the offense couldn't do anything. He really didn't have time. Herbert made some bad decisions because of the defense and the scheme that they was running. And I think because of the first half, he started getting them happy feet back there. And
Yeah.
once you start pressing a quarterback early, he start getting hit. Even if he get the ball away, he get hit. He gonna start looking over his shoulder. He gonna start making, throwing it too early, throwing it too late. So I think that's what that Texan defense did and got him out his game.
Now, we talked about Justin Herbert, I think last week, if not 2 weeks ago, about his legitimacy as an elite quarterback. Like, he's really good. But I think the question now again is Justin Herbert really ready for prime time, or is he just a guy with a lot of talent but no heart?
I'm gonna say he's ready for prime time, but I'm also gonna say in the playoffs, what he has to understand is because it's not this first time he's been to the playoffs.
No.
And the tier of the level of play magnifies, and your mistake level has to decrease. Just because every possession is crucial.
Yeah.
And I think the way he's playing in the playoffs is kind of like the regular season, but you can't play like that. And he has to step his level up. He has all the talent, all the tools. And some people, this question probably is no, because he hasn't shown it yet.
Right.
But I think he is ready. I just think they need a little bit more weapons around him. Lean on that running game a little bit more. But I think he's gonna be okay. I think he is a primetime player. I think it's 31. Well, I ain't gonna say 31 because you take out the 4 superstar quarterbacks plus us and our quarterback. I think there's a lot of teams that would like Justin Herbert as their quarterback.
Well,
So,
there's no doubt about that. I think the unfortunate recurring theme with Herbert and the Chargers, because the Chargers have a stigma of just choking when it counts, going all the way back to Brandon Staley. And even before that, when they had Phillip Rivers, over the last 15, 20 years, the Chargers have just always had the bells and whistles look, but not getting it done. But now here we are with Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert.
But if you look at the his defense, it's like he's always playing catch up. So the team, the Chargers team, has to help too, because you can't expect him always to get you out of a bind when the defense didn't come to show up. So if the defense not helping him out, and then all of a sudden in his mind he's like, man, I gotta make plays out here because the defense not playing well, then he's gonna make mistakes, and then it's like a tornado. It's just gonna go downhill from there.
Yeah, and I think Justin also, we have to kind of understand he still is a relatively young quarterback, and I think the expectation, because he's got all the bells and whistles as far as the look, the size, the arm, athleticism. He's got great fundamentals, footwork. He got everything. And we expected him to be Dan Marino right out of the gate, and he's not Dan Marino. And he's not John Elway. Okay. And I think the problem is we kind of part. I'm not going to give him a 100% pass, but I think part of the problem is these young guns coming out of college, we assume they're going to be like the greats were, and it takes time.
And I would say this, a lot of these quarterbacks, I think, play too early,
Okay.
and I think we put them in too early, and we expect them to succeed too early, and we don't give them really a chance to grow.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I think Jim Harbaugh will. Well, I mean, he's a quarterback himself. He played in the league, so he's going to get him right. I would say that. So I
Yeah.
don't think we don't have to worry about her because he got an excellent a Super Bowl coach. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he
Yeah, absolutely.
been to the Super Bowl, so I think Jim Harbaugh is going to get that team right, that defense right, and Herbert right. So I think the Chargers are going to be fine.
To finish at 11-6 after doing essentially a reset. I mean, you lost Keenan Allen.
Hmm.
You lost Eckler. You guys stole Eckler from them. And,
Hmm.
and, and I mean, that guy's a heck of a running back. Takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback when
Yep.
you have pieces like that. And I think they may have, given away one or two other key pieces. And so and they still went 11-6. He still, had a good year,
Hmm.
but they were embarrassed against Houston. He
Yeah.
threw 4 picks. That's
Yep.
why I can't give him a 100% pass.
Hmm.
Pardon the pun. But it's like, yo, Justin, man, what are you doing? Against, in my opinion, not a very good Houston Texan team. And it's just kind of like, again, an unfortunate recurring theme
Hmm.
with the Chargers and now with Justin Herbert. I would have been a lot more. I'll be honest with you. They should have blown the Texans out. The way the Texans have been playing all year. But on the other side, I don't want to take anything away from Houston.
Hmm.
And from what I understand, CJ Stroud is undefeated at home.
Yeah.
So it's complicated. It's complicated to explain that when you look at what happened to them. But the Chargers, they go out, man. They're done, and I think the future's bright for them. Didn't
Hmm.
expect them to go out like this, but I think they have a bright future with Harbaugh, and it's just a matter of time before Herbert matures into a truly elite quarterback. And I think he's got a Super Bowl in him, if not more than one. So that being said, that's the final there. It was 31-12. The Texans over the LA Chargers. Now, in the other action, oh, by the way, there was a report today from the NFL that playoff ratings were down 9.3% compared to last year in the wild card round compared to last year. Should, in your opinion, the playoffs be reseeded next year because you've got guys playing that just because they won their division, they got home field? And I guarantee you, if the
Yeah.
Chargers had home field, I don't think the Texans win that game. And let's be real, the Chargers earned the right to have a home game.
Yeah, that needs to be fixed on the off season.
Yeah.
I don't just because you win your division and you got a worse record, I don't think that gives you the right to host a home playoff
No,
game.
I don't agree with that at all.
So especially if somebody's in a better division, with the division, the whole division has a better overall record.
Yeah.
And I think that should held some weight until to the division that they supposed to be playing, the person they supposed to be playing in that division. So I think the NFL needs to look at that because I think Chargers should have been playing at home. Um,
Yeah.
just be, just because of their record and their division.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think, they need to look at that. This has been going on for a couple years. I don't know. I forgot what year where I'm the one that came with the Seattle Seahawks and Marshawn Lynch were 8-8 or something like that, or
They were like, I think 7-9.
7-9, and they
Yeah.
held the New Orleans Saints to come in there and they beat them.
Yeah.
If that was in New Orleans, the Saints probably would have rolled away with that one. But
Yeah.
yeah, they need to switch that. And I think the NFL is going to look at that in the off season.
They have to. They have to because I think that's part of why people are not interested in the wild card round It's like if you look at the Chargers and the Texans, actually people were like, oh, the Chargers are going to kill them. It didn't work out that way, but somebody got killed. But the reality is the Chargers should have been at home. And I think when you look at the Rams and the Vikings should have been in Minnesota. These guys won 14 games, dude. And you mean to tell me you got to go on the road and play the Rams, who are a little bit better than average?
And then another thing, are you saying is the regular season really don't hold no weight?
That's what it's saying.
That's what it's saying. So it's saying, why should I really fight for the number 1 seed? And then what you really going to do is have coaches resting players.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we're not getting the number 1 seed, so we might as well start resting players, so we have them for the playoffs and going on the road when we got a better record than this, 10-7, 9-8 team that just squeaked and they won a division. Now we got to go on the road and play them. So, yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, they got to look at that.
And then if you look at the bye situation, it's like only one bye. Well, look, Buffalo should have had a bye as well. And I think the Broncos should have been playing somebody like, the Texans.
Yeah.
Or the Steelers. The matchups were just not right. I mean, are you kidding me? The Steelers, they never had a chance to beat Baltimore. Let's be 100. They really didn't. They played like garbage. And, I think the Packers also winning, going 11-6. I mean, they weren't going to get a home game. But I think the Commanders on the road at 12-5, the Packers on the road at 11-6. When you have lesser teams like the Rams, my gosh, what's the other? The Bucks. I mean, they deserved to be on the road, and people were not interested. I'm just saying. I think the way they seeded this, people have lost interest. Now this weekend coming up, they go up. The ratings go up this weekend. Okay, I mean now we're ready to watch some football. Okay. Yeah. So, and then as I mentioned, the Packers, they lost to the Eagles 22-10. And that brings up my next question for another quarterback, Jordan Love. Is he overpaid and overrated as the Packers franchise QB1?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I think he's a QB1. He is the future of that franchise. I don't think he's overrated. I think the Packers just had a lot of injuries, and you saw it throughout that game. It was like every other play, another player going down.
Yeah.
Another player going down. And I'm like, good Lord, do they have any more players on the sideline to come in? And then another thing, you can't expect Jordan Love, especially with all them injuries, to upset a team like the Eagles. When you have all them injuries, you can't put all that pressure on his back. You can't do that. For the Packers to win that game, they had to be, one, fully healthy, and two, they had to play a perfect game. And with all them injuries, you can't do that. So
yeah. Now I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think the Eagles looked good in this game. I didn't think they played the type of game that we expect the Eagles to play. Green Bay comes out, fumbles the opening kickoff. Keshawn Nixon fumbles, and there's a free 7. Jordan Love throws 3 picks. So they got at least another free 7 out of those 3. And now you're fighting uphill. And like I said, you're losing players left and right. But, Aaron, you can't throw 3 picks in a playoff game, man.
Nah, you can't.
You just can't do that.
Too much over. The Bucks had 1 turnover, and that cost them the game.
1 turnover, D, can cost you the game.
So
what do you think is going to happen? You go out there and throw 3. So Jordan Love, and I will say this: we were talking about Justin Herbert, the expectations that they put on Jordan Love, I was saying pump the brakes last year. I said, look, wait a minute, stop it with the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers stuff. He's not Aaron Rodgers, and he's not Brett Favre. Let's just stop all that nonsense. Oh, he's the next one, a great succession of quarterbacks at Green Bay. No. The guy hasn't started more than probably 5 games coming into his first official year as QB1. Got no experience. So he's a young quarterback. He's just as young as Bo Nix as far as an NFL starter goes. And so you have to give this guy time. So everybody, they gave him all that money, and I get it. He had a great run. You had to give him. You're going to lose the guy.
Yeah.
And I understand why you gave him the money. But he's, in my mind, overrated. He's not Brett Favre. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's got a year or two to go.
Yeah, he's not Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, but I think the arrow is up.
Yeah.
If the arrow is pointing up, then you got something. And I think that's where he hit it. So,
well, and it could be. I certainly hope so. As a Packer fan, very disappointed in the way they bowed out. At least put up a fight against Philly. I didn't think the Eagles played particularly well in this game. I think Jalen Hurts he was still in a fog. Now, coming up on their playoff game this week, I expect him to kind of be better, because he's still, I think he was still dealing with that concussion. The Ravens over the Steelers 28-14. And then you look at Pittsburgh, and we got a debacle here, dude, because we started out with Justin Fields first, 6 games of the year, they're 4-2. And then Mike Tomlin goes, I think I'm going to make a quarterback switch and go with Russell Wilson. And they went on a 5-6 game winning streak. And then all of a sudden they got into a 4-game gauntlet leading into the playoffs, lost every one of them, which made you go, okay, Mike, do we want to go back to Justin? Then you got this rebel George Pickens who, is disrupting the locker room with his personal agenda. But guess who we're looking at through all of this madness? We're looking at Mike Tomlin. Because year after year, Pittsburgh fails to live up to expectations. So my question to you, is the jig about up in Pittsburgh for Mike Tomlin, and has the game passed him by?
I'm going to say no. I mean, he's been in Pittsburgh 18 years.
Just about that long.
That's a long time. And especially in the NFL. But he's never had a losing season.
Yeah.
And it's what is he missing that all these other teams have in this division? A quarterback.
He's missing a quarterback.
It's hard to get a quarterback when you're winning with average players at quarterback, and you always end the season at 8-8, 9-8. You're really not going to fall in that area where you could draft a top pick, a top quarterback, unless you give up the bank for him.
Yeah.
And they haven't been willing to do that like Kansas City did for Mahomes when they got Mahomes.
Right.
So unless you're willing to do that, they're always going to be in the middle of in the road until he get a quarterback. Now, Justin Fields and what's his name? Forgot his name.
Russell Wilson.
Been playing so bad, I forgot his name.
Well, he looked like Zach Wilson.
Russell Wilson. They was on 1-year deals, so now they don't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So now you thinking about getting rid of Mike Tomlin. So now you're going to need a new coach that you believe is going to be better than Mike Tomlin, which I don't think you're going to find. And then you're going to need a quarterback.
Yeah.
So how about you keep Mike Tomlin and then have him find a quarterback? Instead of having 2 problems, now you only got 1.
Yeah.
And at the least of it, you're going to be at least in the mix of it, because, I mean, he's proven that he's going to win. So, I mean, they're in a tough situation, I would say that, because they're going to have to make a move somewhere. I mean, do you go get a Sam Darnold? I don't think that's really an upgrade from, the 2 quarterbacks you already have. I mean, what other quarterback are you really going to get unless you move up in the draft?
Well, I mean, listen, that's the only way. I agree with you. They would have to move up in the draft and try to get Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. Because let's be real here. Justin and Russell, Justin Fields, if you're thinking in the back of your mind, maybe they should make a quarterback switch. It ain't going to be any different.
It's not.
Neither one of those quarterbacks are equipped to beat elite teams.
Not
They're
no more.
good. They're good enough to get you maybe 9 wins, maybe 10, and out in the first round. So you're right. They're gonna have to make a big move if they want to be a championship club. They're going to have to make a big move at QB1. And Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, in that case, they're not it.
Here's the thing. Mike Tomlin coming, which I think he is going to be back. I would be shocked if he's not, but I think he is.
Yeah.
They're going to have to pick one of them to stay on that roster. They're going to have to pick at least one of them to be on the roster right now.
Yeah. Yeah. They're going to have to pick one. Yeah.
They're going to have to pick one because you don't know who else that you may or may not get.
And you know what? I'm going with Justin Fields.
I would go with Justin Fields just because he's younger.
Just because he's younger. I mean, you have apples and oranges here. I mean, Russell Wilson has the capability to play better 10 years ago.
Yeah.
His vision mentally upstairs, it's ahead of Justin, but he can't physically do what he knows he needs to do. But Justin Fields, you got to go with him. He's the younger guy. And again, he's going to get better, but he's not enough. The Steelers have a situation, and neither one of those quarterbacks is going to get you there. Neither one of them.
Their defense need to be better. They need to get that run game back up to what it used to be because Pittsburgh is for downhill football running.
Yeah.
So they got a lot of work to do. But I think the man who should be running that thing is Mike Tomlin.
Listen, let me just say this about Mike. I hate to say this about Mike. I love Mike Tomlin, but I'm going to have to be 100. His sermon's getting old. Okay? He says a lot of really, quotable things. But I'm not seeing it on the field.
I mean, he's making it to the playoffs. I mean, he's getting ousted in the first round. He hasn't won a playoff game, I think, in 5 years or something like that. He's 0-5 in the last 5 years or something like that, or maybe longer than that. So he's getting there. He's just not winning it. Now, are you willing to throw that out to get somebody who's, I don't know, what coach is out there that you will replace with Mike Tomlin right now and expect the same or better results?
Aaron Glenn in Detroit. Ben Johnson in Detroit. Right off the rip. No question. and again, I hate saying that about Mike. I really like Mike Tomlin. But, dude, this is an ongoing theme, and there was a point where Pittsburgh was absolutely dominant under Mike Tomlin's helm. I mean, they were good. I mean, they won a Super Bowl. I think they went to 3 Super Bowls under Mike Tomlin, 2 for sure. And they were always in the AFC Championship, and they were, battling Baltimore for supremacy all the time. That's not Pittsburgh over the last 5 to 7 years.
Yeah.
It's just not. And so anyway, I throw the question out, is the jig about up for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh? I don't even know the answer to that question. I think the organization is going to have to make some hard decisions about QB1 and going forward. And the 2 dudes they got, they ain't going to do it. Anyway, I'll go to the next one. Minnesota, they were destroyed by the LA Rams 27-9. And the week prior to that, we saw Sam Darnold struggle against the Lions in the quote-unquote Lions Den. They were the Lions Den, dude. They got mauled. And you started to go, man, is Sam Darnold ready for primetime? And then he comes to this game against the Rams, and he looked the same way. He was seeing ghosts. He looked shook. So my question to you is about Sam Darnold. Does he deserve to be brought back as the starter for Minnesota?
I believe he does, and you can't knock the other 14 games he played and what he did in them games.
Okay.
You can't forget about that. And if you add that into the equation, now did he mess up some money? He did mess up some money.
He
because,
did.
because he's not,
He messed his money up.
he did. He messed his money up
Yeah.
because I'm not going to pay him what I would have paid him if he would have played well in these games.
Right.
Now, does he deserve to come back? Of course he does. Because a lot of people are saying get rid of him. He doesn't. You got McCarthy, but you don't know what McCarthy's going to do.
Yeah.
Because you got a locker room of men in there that are saying, well, Sam got us to this point. Now you're going to bring an unproven kid in here. And if he starts to struggle in the middle of the season, they go on a 2, 3, 4 game losing streak.
Yeah.
You'll be like, uh-oh, maybe we should have kept Sam. But then at that point, it's too late. Now you got to ride the kid out. And then you got people in the locker room like, man, what are we doing?
Okay.
So,
yeah.
That's my big thing. If you got to be 100% sure that kid that you're gonna put in there next year is the real deal, because you can't. You got. I'm just saying. You got. It's a locker room. It's a lot of men in there that want Sam back. I could guarantee that. If you ask Jefferson, I guarantee he'd be like, yeah, I want Sam back. He's my quarterback. I want him back. Okay. I guarantee you, and I won't be surprised if they ask him Jefferson's opinion, because you don't want him to be like, man, I want to trade.
Well, look, he won 14 games. It's hard to dismiss that.
Hard to.
But you look at what he did. I mean, they showed a picture of Jordan Jefferson on the sideline. He was doing this number.
Yep. I saw that.
He was done. And so that I'm looking at Justin Jefferson, and I'm thinking what he's thinking in his mind is, this dude is a bum. And I knew it. I knew it was going to show himself. And this is what I get after all that effort I gave this year, after all those numbers we put up, after all those games we won. And let's be 100 here, Aaron. He choked in these games. Detroit overwhelmed Sam Darnold. And then the Rams did essentially the same thing. If you go to J.J. McCarthy, I'm looking at Kevin O'Connell, and I'm going, okay, if you go to J.J. McCarthy, which I have a feeling that's what's going to happen, and he's going to get the Baker Mayfield contract and probably be shipped off. Does he deserve that after winning 14 games? No.
I will say this about Kevin O'Connell. He's the offensive coordinator and the head coach.
Yeah.
He needed to take the pressure off Sam. How do you take the pressure off your quarterback?
Stop calling 5 to 7 step drops. They're all over it.
You run the ball, get the ball out quick. If you see your quarterback struggling, you got to help him out. Quick passes.
Yeah.
Dump offs. Use the short pass game as your running game. Hand the ball off. Let him get comfortable, and then start letting it loose a little bit. But you can't let the man drop back, and you tell he's not this. You know your quarterback. You got to know your quarterback. Like, don't put him in a situation where he's going to fail. And I think as much as Sam played bad, I think Kevin O'Connell has to take some responsibilities for this too. And
I would agree.
This is my opinion. If you see that he's struggling early in the game, say, okay, look, we're going to start from scratch. We're going to start running this thing a little bit. And then we're going to start doing little dink screens, little quick passes, get the ball out quick. Because he was holding the ball a lot. He was holding the ball. He was undecisive of where he should go. So as much as Sam played bad, I had to put some of that on O'Connell too.
He lost 82 yards from the line of scrimmage in sacks, the most yards by a quarterback lost from the line of scrimmage in history. Mm-hmm. So I think the twain meet, O'Connell and Darnold, as far as who's culpable for this disastrous performance. Mm-hmm. But when you're a veteran and you realize, hey, I'm not getting time back here. my offensive line has been awesome all year, and now they're getting overwhelmed. And I don't have that extra second to hit Addison. I don't have that extra half second to hit Justin, as he had been doing quite comfortably throughout the year, holding that ball that extra count and letting it rip. It wasn't there in these past 2 games. So if you're looking at a mature quarterback that's worth $50 million, that's how much money he gave away. He was looking at a $50 million bag. And he went in there and fell on his face. And I'm thinking, okay, as a vet, what do you do? I mean, come on, work with me. You play football before. Work with me on this. As a veteran QB1 who's got a ton of wins in his satchel, and you realize, oh, it ain't going to be like that today. I don't have any time. This one's not going to be a walk in the park. You take the initiative on your own. Say, yo, man, I got to get rid of this rock.
You do.
Okay, I need for you to do a little dig right here for me. I need for you to do a little curl, a quick out, a quick in. I got to get this ball out now. And he wasn't doing that. It's like, yo, Sam, do you understand you can't play that game today? And he didn't get it in Detroit, and he did not get it in LA.
And then, like you said, a veteran quarterback, if I'm getting pressured and I don't have no time, I'm like, okay, I need 2 plays to beat them when they blitz me.
Yeah.
All I need 2 plays. 2 plays to beat them, and then they're going to back out of it. That's all I need. And I'm going to hit them.
Sean McVay played possum. That defensive line, that front 7, those guys are athletes. They're not like regular linemen. They are athletes, dude. So he unleashed them like I had not seen all year. Like, is Aaron Donald out here? I had not seen that kind of pass rush from the Rams all year. And Sean McVay, he played possum. He knew exactly how he wanted to play this. He had them at home, and he outcoached Kevin O'Connell. He had, 2 weeks to prepare for this game, I think? And he just totally outcoached O'Connell.
A lot of times when you look at these games, you don't know a match. Like, I look at 2 things. I look at the quarterback and the coach. And I've always been a McVay fan. I had the opportunity to meet him in person, talk to him for a little bit, but I always loved him. And when I seen him speak and I got to talk to him, I already knew he was going to be a head coach at some point. And but he's been to the dance. He's won a Super Bowl. He has a quarterback that's been to the dance and won a Super Bowl. O'Connell and Sam have not been to the dance, have not been to a Super Bowl. So if you look at that, they've been there, done that, and they're comfortable in that. So as you go back to your point, he outcoached him.
He outcoached O'Connell. I mean, O'Connell was frustrated on the sideline. I have never seen Kevin O'Connell not calm and composed. And he was distraught. and I'm like, yo, Kevin, what happened to the game plan? Yo, can't you figure out how to get? He couldn't. He couldn't. That's why I say that the twain meet in culpability between O'Connell and Darnold. Okay. And I don't have a whole lot of sympathy for the Vikings, because for me, after winning 14 games, and this is what you show. Now, I do believe they deserved a home game. I don't think they should have been on the road. That's why I think they need to reseed the playoffs. I don't think they should have been on the road, but you got to do better than that. It was very surprising. We're going to switch over to our matchups coming up this week. We got 4 good ones this weekend, dude. There's no question about that. However, I think the biggest mismatch by far is Houston and Kansas City, 4:30 at Arrowhead Stadium. Those people are going to be going nuts in Kansas City, Missouri. ESPN, ABC, your thoughts of this matchup?
It's gonna be close until about the 4th quarter, and then.
Okay. Oh, really? You think this thing's gonna be close for a minute?
I think it's gonna be close for a minute.
Okay.
But I think after halftime, I think Kansas City gonna run out with this, and I think Mahomes is highly upset right now.
About what?
Who are the quarterbacks that everybody has been talking about this whole year?
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Allen, Lamar
Aaron,
Jackson.
he has not had a good year
He
statistically.
has
We got to be honest.
100%.
Yeah.
But you don't think that he's saying? Do you remember when, I don't know if you know this, when they did the top 100?
Okay.
I forgot what year. I don't know if it was. I think it was last year. They did the top 100. They put Patrick Mahomes number 3.
Oh man, I did
they
not
had,
know.
I think they had Lamar number 1, something like that. But he was number 3.
Okay.
After he beat the Ravens in the playoffs, he looked at the camera. He did 1, 2, 3.
Did he do that? Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
So you don't think that he's all year? He's like, these guys still don't know who I am. I've done all this. I'm about to try to go to my 3rd Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And these folks still ain't talking about me. They saying I'm having a bad year.
Yeah.
Now he's having a bad year according to himself.
Yeah.
But it's still a good year. Now,
yeah. It's still a good year. Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
Still having a good year, but just not the Patrick Mahomes we used to seeing.
No, it's
now
not.
You don't think that's not in the back of his mind?
Oh, it's in the back of his mind, and I do. I'll say this. It's twofold. Number one, the criticism is not unfounded or unjustifiable. He just doesn't have the numbers this year.
Correct.
He just does, and Aaron, he knows that, but he also knows. Oh yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll take care of this in the playoffs, and that I believe. Okay, I'm not counting him out. I still got them going to the Super Bowl and winning, and so no, man, I agree with you. He's got a chip on his shoulder going into postseason. For whatever reason, he's thrown a lot of picks this year. Offense has been stagnant. They've really struggled against teams to win that they shouldn't have struggled against. But you know what? They're still the Chiefs.
They are, and I mean, the last time Houston played them, it was close.
Yeah,
it was a close game. But I think this is different. I just believe that Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Kelsey, they're gonna show out and show up. And I would never bet against the Chiefs. That's just how I always been. Yeah. And I don't see no different here. They're gonna take care of business and they moving on.
Now I think so, without a doubt. But dude, I think the AFC Championship is going to be off the hizzy.
It is.
I'm looking at these two teams, these two games. Your boys, the Commanders, are taking on the Lions at Ford Field on Saturday night at 8 p.m. in Detroit. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking at these two teams, and I had about 8 weeks ago proclaimed that it's going to be the Chiefs and the Lions in the Super Bowl. But I will, and I still believe that. However, this Washington Commander team is good enough to knock them out.
We are. And the Lions are not unbeatable. It is going to be a tough game. Yeah. But their defense give up a lot of points.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Give up a lot of points, but the offense can put up a lot of points. So if we could just hang around and stay in the game fourth quarter and give JD5 a chance, we can knock these guys. We're playing free.
You got house money.
We got this game close. All the pressure is gonna go on now.
Yeah,
like we're playing well, and we are coming to win. 4th and 1, 4th and 2, we're going for it. On our side, we're going for it. 4th and 3, we're going for it.
Yeah.
So that has been the motto all year. We did it against Tampa Bay. So I think as long as we could stay close in the game, put some pressure on Golf, because he's not a shifty guy. He's not running nowhere. So if we could put pressure on Golf, I think the most important thing is we don't have to stop the running game, but we have to minimize the running game.
Yeah.
Meaning we can't allow them to get big chunks. But as long as we minimize the running game and don't allow them to get big chunks, and our offense, keeping that offense off the field with long drives, and we have had 7-minute, 9-minute drives, and we score a touchdown.
Yeah.
And that is a devastating thing for a team when you have long drives. And we have done that all year. 7, 9-minute, 10-minute drives, and we have scored a touchdown.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think the test in this game for JD5 is going to be, are you ready for this atmosphere? Because let's be Aaron, let's be 100 and real about this. This is the playoffs, dude. And you're on the road and in a very rabid environment. So I think the first 5 minutes, the first 2 possessions will make or break the Commanders in this game. Because you have to go out there. JD5 has got to go out there, and he's going to have to suck it up and understand, yo, this ain't the same. If he can withstand that first 5-minute wave, I think they'll be okay.
Hey, I'm going to tell you this. As watching number 5 all year long, he going to be ready.
This is the playoffs, Aaron. I'm saying you got to understand, this is not a regular season deal.
Last week was the playoffs. And
that was the Bucks, man. Hey, look, I'll say, hey, yo, Aaron.
Hey, man, I'm going to say this.
Yeah.
When your coach believes in you, your team believes in you,
yeah,
and you've been doing it all year, it was so many times on 4th down.
Okay.
Who did we give the ball to? We gave it to number 5.
Oh, no. I agree with
you.
You.
Give it to number 5, and he's done it all year. He done it against the Eagles, came back.
Yeah.
Every year, he's done it. He done it against I know this the playoffs, but he said it in the press conference. He said, these are the moments I live for. I live for these games, and I live for these moments.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you another thing. He didn't even know we won the game.
Huh?
No. He was talking to the one of the guys that helped with the media before the kicker kicked it. He was talking about press conferences. And then the kick went in. He was like, we won? Oh, he was like, okay.
Okay. Well,
moving on. His demeanor and the way he's never too high, he's never too low, he's always the same. It's another game to him.
Well, I understand that.
He's different. He is different.
He's a different. I give him that. He's a different dude. And to your point, going into Tampa in a playoff atmosphere, in a rabid environment, and he maintained his poise, and they got to W. I'm just saying, this environment in Detroit is going to be times 5. And I just think I'm not saying he can't do it, Aaron. I believe he can do it. It's going to be a test.
You know who he remind me of? And I'm going to say it live on the Maurice Brown show. I'm going to say it.
Uh-oh.
Patrick Mahomes.
Dude,
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it now.
I don't know.
Me of Patrick Mahomes. I'm not talking about like
I can't go there.
But I'm going there because I'm going to say it.
I cannot go there, but I believe he's capable. He's capable of doing it. Again, let me say it again, Aaron. Let me say it again. He's got to withstand that first 2 possession 5-minute window. If he can remain composed and say, yo, okay, if he can do that, they have a shot to win this game.
Every analyst from ESPN, all of them. You go to shows you watching, all of them. They've been like, we've been waiting for Jaden to hit his rookie wall. Rookie wall. When he gonna hit his rookie wall? He never did.
No, he
And you
never
know
did.
what? He won't.
Yeah, okay.
Because you know what? He
Hey,
prepares. He's prepared for the moment. He's prepared for this moment all year. And I think he's up to the task. And I mean, it's a team game. We can't put everything on him, but when we need a play, put it on JD5. And I think is we gonna I tell you one thing, if we have the ball last, we coming out with a victory. If we have the ball last, we're gonna win that game. That's all I
well,
got. If it's close and we got the ball last, he's done it all year. I don't know why I would not believe it's gonna happen again.
well, I believe they can do it. I believe that he can do it. This is going to be a tall task, and the Lions.
Oh yeah, I'm
The
not.
Lions are going to have to understand. Okay, this is not Sam. We're not playing Sam Darnold today.
Mm-mm.
This is a team that's got their act together. This is a different animal. If the Lions understand what they need to do to contain him, because he's a handful. So he's not a statue. He's mobile, got a gun, and he's smart.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? Last time I checked, he ain't scared. So hey, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an entertaining game. It's going to be one of the best matchups of the weekend. And then on Sunday in Los Angeles, actually, they're playing this one at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Rams go at it at 3:00 on Sunday. What do you think about this one?
Man, you know what? I think the Rams gonna upset him, man.
Matthews, you need to go upstairs and make yourself a hot toddy. Relax.
Nate, like you know it.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
I think this may be. I think this may be an upset, man. I think Brown better get some more books to read.
I can see it. Yeah,
I think he better get a couple more books to read, because if I would say this, if they could slow down Barkley and they make Hurts throw,
yeah,
it may be a long, instigating game for the Eagles.
He didn't look good against the Packers. He did not look good.
And that's why Brown had that book, his Woosah book.
Uh-oh.
Reading on the sideline. Now he gonna have to body slam Hurts.
Well, I agree with you. I could definitely see an upset here. I'm gonna go with Philly.
I'm going with
because they got Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be shocked if the Rams won it. I wouldn't be shocked. They look dangerous. They look really dangerous. And then we got Buffalo to cap out the weekend against the Ravens. That's going to be in Buffalo at Highmark Stadium in Buffalo, New York, on CBS Paramount. And before you even answer this question, I got to ask this question about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. Who has a longer offseason with the loss, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
I'm gonna have to go with Lamar on this.
Okay.
One. I think he needs this.
Yeah.
He needs to go to the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he can't. This will hurt him worse if he loses. You got tractor trailer behind you.
Uh-huh.
They got him to help you out.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't know if Flowers is going to go. I think he's a game time decision. But you got all the weapons. To me, is no excuse.
Yeah.
But this is a dangerous game.
This is a dangerous game. This is the Bills Mafia crib. You talk about a rabid environment. It's going to be freezing cold. And both, let me tell you something. This is where Lamar Jackson has to answer the bell. He can't lose this game, Aaron.
He can't. Now, if they're smart, they will lean on a running game. If they're smart, They will lean on a running game.
Somebody better call Todd Monken and let him know, because he don't seem to understand that from game to game.
Henry better have 25 to 30 carries.
Yeah.
Because I will tell Henry, get ready, because this is why we brought you here.
Yeah.
So this is why we brought you here, and we're going to ride you until the wheels fall off. So
this is I don't want to be too negative, but this is a game that Josh Allen is going to have to win. Like, he may have to put his health on the line to win this one. Because it's listen, if the Ravens do what they are supposed to do, Allen's in trouble.
He's in trouble.
He's in trouble because the Bills don't have the weapons that Baltimore's got. I don't know. Do you know if Zay Flowers is playing in this game?
I think he's a game time decision. I'm not sure yet.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he practiced. I'm not even sure if he practiced, but I know he's up in the air. And but I even without him, I think they still have enough weapons to get it done. But
yeah, they can win without Zay.
Yeah, I think they still have enough weapons to get it done. But
absolutely.
I would say this. I think Baltimore is going to win. But they better be about that business.
Dude, they had better be about that business. At the end of the day, it's going to be a heart check for Lamar.
It is.
And you go into this environment, this rabid environment against the Bills Mafia, and maintain your composure and do your thing and play your game. That's the question Lamar Jackson has not answered in the positive for the last 3-4 years. And again, that big question mark is up in this game, because this is no joke. I think on paper, Baltimore should be able to go in there and really, be totally honest with you, they should be able to skull drag Buffalo.
But they have to forget that last game.
Environment.
I think that they have to forget that last game. I think Baltimore got to remove that last game out their mind that they blew out when they blew out the Buffalo Bills, because this is one and done, and they have to have that same mentality to go in there and get them out. They got to get them out the game early, tell you the truth.
Well, really, Baltimore's looking at the same thing that JD5 is looking at. And it shouldn't be the case because Lamar's been in the league too long. But he's got to withstand that first 2-possession, 5-minute window. That's when we find out where this game's going to go. And he's got to answer the bell. It's like, hey, Lamar, hey, look, dude, we don't have time for you with these 3 and outs now. You missing a dig or running out of bounds or overthrowing your receiver. But Todd Monken, the play caller, the OC, has to make sure that Derrick Henry puts his mark on this game. And if he does that, Baltimore should have no problem winning. Dude, we're going to have to get out of here. This has been a great show, ladies and gentlemen. If you've enjoyed watching the show, well, like it and share it and subscribe to the Maurice Brown Comedy Hour. And also, you can check us out on bogradio.fm every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and also on KCHFTV11.org every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Mountain. Also on Spotify, you can check out the Maurice Brown Comedy Show and the NFL edition with Aaron Too Tall Moore, and oftentimes Hip Hop Artist Antoine A.S. Stewart, who could not join us tonight, but next week, hopefully he'll be on the show. So with that being said, we're going to step out of here, get your popcorn ready this weekend. This is one of those weekends to get the popcorn out. So enjoy it, and may the peace of Jesus Christ be with you and your families, everybody. God bless.